Hello and welcome to the late night edition with me, Ayushman Singh Jamwala. Top story: celebrations have erupted on the streets of Sri Lanka amid the economic crisis that has stretched on for over 100 days. Now, this comes after Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa finally resigned from his post. Gotabaya has been on the run ever since the protests across the island nation intensified, where demonstrators stormed the presidential palace and other government buildings in opposition to the Rajapaksas. Gotabaya resigned after he took a private jet from the Maldives to Singapore. The Speaker has said that Parliament will convene after 3 days and the President will be elected in the next 30 days. Sri Lanka's interim President Ranil Wickremesinghe, who had earlier agreed to resign, has now said that he will not back down.
Celebrations here at the golf face where protests are going on for 97 days. You can see a lot of people now coming here to celebrate the resignation of Gotabaya Rajapaksa. This was a demand that they put forth 97 days ago, and now they are celebrating this victory. They call it the people's struggle, and the victory is only because of the people's struggle and the people's movement. You can find fireworks also here in and around the golf face, and everyone here raising slogans that Gotabaya has finally gone home. And these are the visuals that you can see as Gotabaya Rajapaksa has finally stepped down. This was the demand, and now you can see a lot of people are coming here to celebrate. There's music, there's dance, there are songs, and this is the mood here among the protesters who have been protesting peacefully for 97 days. And now they say that they will continue to protest till Prime Minister and now the interim President Ranil Wickremesinghe also steps down. And interestingly, it's not just protesters, but you can find families, children also now joining in these protests. Dance and music now can be heard everywhere at the golf face. People here are clearly rejoicing and celebrating the victory, and this was not easy for them. 27 days ago, they never imagined this could happen, but finally it's happened, and those are the celebrations that you can see after Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who reached Singapore earlier this evening, finally has stepped down.
I'm joined by my colleague Purnima Murli, who's reporting live from Colombo. Purnima, you showed us those spirited scenes from the streets of Colombo after the resignation of Gotabaya Rajapaksa, but the economic crisis continues in Sri Lanka. What are the next few weeks likely to look like?
Well, Speaker confirmed that he has received an email from Gotabaya Rajapaksa who had sent the resignation letter. The legality and the authenticity of that will be verified, and Speaker had issued a statement some time ago stating that he will make that announcement tomorrow, because it's a long process and that it will take time. So by tomorrow morning is when you could expect an announcement, while Gotabaya had sent in his resignation and also made it clear that Ranil Wickremesinghe will be the interim president. What next for Sri Lanka? Once the Speaker makes that final announcement, then the Parliament will convene within 3 days. The Parliament was set to convene yesterday, but because of the delay in the resignation process of Gotabaya Rajapaksa, tomorrow the Speaker will make that announcement and then will announce as to when the Parliament will convene. And after the Parliament convenes, there will be discussions on who are all interested to contest for the president's post, and then the voting will happen. 225 parliamentarians will then vote to decide who the next president could be. And as per the constitution, Ranil Wickremesinghe can be the interim president for a span of 30 days as per the constitution. And here, if you can see, celebrations continue. Gotabaya Rajapaksa had sent his resignation. Even as the Speaker has yet to make it formal, you can find celebrations underway at the golf face, where protests have intensified over the last 97 days. You can find people cheering and continuing to raise slogans saying that Gota has finally gotten back home, and that's the word that's coming in from these protesters. Those are the visuals of celebrations, and protesters here are rejoicing their victory. They say that this was a struggle that happened for the last not 1 month or 2 months, but for the last few months. Since February, the crisis has only worsened, and that's why they say that what they wanted, they finally got it. That's the word that's coming in from these protesters who continue to celebrate. And these are the scenes that you can see unfold all through the night and till tomorrow, when the speaker will finally make that announcement. But we'll have to wait and see, because tomorrow the opposition parties will suggest a prime ministerial candidate, because now Ranil Wickremesinghe will be the interim president. So opposition parties will now suggest and recommend one of their members as the prime ministerial candidate before the speaker, and that could happen at 10 a.m. So these are the developments that are going to pan out tomorrow. One is speaker confirming Rajapaksa's resignation and also confirming as to when the parliament will convene, and on the other side the opposition parties will make their suggestions for the prime ministerial candidate at around 10 a.m. So you can see these visuals here, people now saying that this is a victory that didn't happen overnight, but it was because of their struggle and the people's power. It finally happened, and these are the scenes that have been unfolding since 8 p.m. ever since the speaker's team confirmed that they received the resignation letter. You can find chorus only growing louder, saying that Gota has finally resigned, and this is their victory, and it's time for an interim government to be formed without including the Rajapaksa members.
Right, absolutely. The people's movement gaining that success with the resignation of Gotabaya Rajapaksa. And at the same time, the economic crisis is far from over. So Sri Lanka is not out of the woods yet. And also that political uncertainty continues. Thank you, Purnima, for getting us the latest from Colombo. But please stay with us. We're getting some breaking news from Tamil Nadu. And this is from the AIADMK camp. Now, after removing coordinator OPS from the party, AIADMK Interim General Secretary E. Palaniswamy has removed all OPS backers from the primary membership of the party, including OPS's sons, OP Ravindranath and Jaya Pradeep. Purnima continues to be with us on the broadcast to get the latest from the AIADMK camp. So, Purnima, where is this power struggle now headed?
Well, Edapadi has made it clear that he is the AIADMK chief. VK Sasikla, O Pannirselvam cannot be part of the AIADMK anymore. We've seen a lot of drama unfold where O Pannirselvam tried to storm the AIADMK office, and he was expelled from the party the day the General Council meeting happened. And after that, today, O Pannirselvam's loyalists, including his son OP Ravindranath, who's also the AIADMK MP, the lone MP from the AIADMK, he's also been expelled from the party. That's something that we expected to happen, because OP Ravindranath, remember, is seen as someone who's also trying to ensure that O Pannirselvam somehow gets back into the AIADMK. But at the moment, Edapadi's message is very clear that he is going to lead the party, and there will be no room for VK Sasikla or O Pannirselvam. O Pannirselvam, meanwhile, is trying to fight the case and take the legal routes ahead. But at the moment, it looks like an end game for OPS and VK Sasikla, who's also touring the state, saying that she is the real General Secretary of the party. She too, at the moment, does not see any positive signs of getting back into the AIADMK. Edapadi Palaniswamy is the AIADMK chief, and in the next 4 months, he will be made the permanent General Secretary as per the AIADMK, because O Pannirselvam still has a long battle ahead, and VK Sasikla is also struggling to get back into the party. So at the moment, it's an advantage EPS.
Advantage EPS, but OPS is continuing to fight back. Purnima, getting some more breaking news where after EPS sacked OPS and his supporters, now O Pannirselvam has claimed that he is still the AIADMK coordinator, and from that capacity, he has sacked 22 members of the party, including EPS. So that action has come from O Pannirselvam. So when it comes to this sack war, if you will, Purnima, in the AIADMK, who will be the tiebreaker and who is eventually likely to be the winner in this entire fight? Because as you were pointing out, it is advantage EPS, but do OPS and even VK Sasikala have any more cards to play?
Well, if if you look at the support that EPS has, of the 75 district secretaries, 70 of them have supported Edapadi Palanisamy, and O Pannirselvam has the support of merely 5 district secretaries, and Edapadi enjoys the support of 90% of the party cadre, while only loyalists who belong to Theni, which is incidentally the hometown of O Pannirselvam, those are the people who, along with O Pannirselvam, stormed the AIADMK headquarters and staged a silent protest inside the headquarters before the revenue district administration sealed the party. But at the moment, Edapadi enjoys a majority of support, and those of them who were loyal to O Pannirselvam have slowly shifted their loyalties to EPS, which is why O Pannirselvam is trying to take all the legal routes possible, and his argument is that he is still the coordinator, and the General Council meeting that was held did not get his approval, and therefore it is not a valid General Council meeting, and the resolutions passed that day, which was on Monday, those are not valid. Those are the arguments made by O Pannirselvam, who after his son was sacked, he then said that 22 loyalists of EPS have also been sacked. So both of them trying to sack the loyalists of the other camp, and this drama will continue because O Pannirselvam is not going to let Edapadi Palanisamy have a smooth journey going forward as the AIADMK chief.
Right. Thank you, Purnima, for joining us on the broadcast and getting us the updates from both Sri Lanka as well as the AIADMK camp as that civil war continues. Now, shifting focus, the Patna police has nabbed 3 people for planning communal attacks. 2 of them have been identified as Jalaluddin and Atahar Parvez. Of the 2 identified, Jalaluddin is a retired cop, while Parvez is reportedly a SIMI operative who has been instrumental in getting bail for other SIMI operatives. CNN News 18 has accessed other details of the plot, namely that the outfit's motive was to disrupt Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Bihar. CNN News 18 has learned that training was being given to old members of SIMI from several states, including Kerala, West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, among others, to carry out anti-national activities. CNN News 18 has also accessed a PFI handbook which lists 4 stages to convert India into an Islamic nation by 2047. Meanwhile, the PFI has issued a statement saying that the claims of the Bihar police are ridiculous and they are attempting to demonize the organization. Now, in the middle of this tussle, after the Patna police busted the SIMI plot to create communal disharmony, the SSP of Patna, Manavjeet Singh Dhillon, stoked a massive controversy when he compared the PFI to the RSS. Now, following this, Patna ADG J.S. Gangwar has issued a show cause notice to Dhillon and has asked him to respond in 48 hours.
मोबिलाइज करती थी मस्जिद में और मदरसा में यूथ्स को मोबिलाइज करते थे और कठोरता की तरफ, जिसको हम अंग्रेजी में रेडिकलाइजेशन बोलते हैं, उसके लिए ये लगातार कार्यशील थे। इसका जो मॉडस था कि ये लोग जैसे शाखा होती है, आरएसएस अपनी शाखा ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं और लाठी की ट्रेनिंग देते हैं, उसी तरह से ये लोग शारीरिक प्रशिक्षण, फिजिकल एजुकेशन के नाम से लोग अपने यूथ्स को बुला के और उनको प्रशिक्षण दे रहे थे, और उसी के साथ ही जो अपना एजेंडा है और प्रोपेगेंडा है, उनके माध्यम से यूथ्स को ब्रेन वॉश करने का काम कर रहे थे।
किस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में टिप्पणी की गई है वो मुझे लगता है कि आउट ऑफ कॉन्टेक्स्ट हुआ होगा, और हम लोग उनसे ये पूछेंगे कि ऐसा क्यों हुआ है। अभी राइट नाउ उनका जॉब है केस के अनुसंधान में, उनकी टीम उस पर कार्रवाई कर रही है, उनको भी केस के अनुसंधान में ध्यान देते हुए कार्रवाई करने का निर्देश दिया जाएगा, और किसी एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को दूसरे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से कंपेयर करना गलत है।
I'm joined by Saurabh Rathore on the broadcast to get the latest on this tussle that's going on within the Patna police itself, primarily after the SSP compared the PFI to the RSS. Saurabh, give us the update on what is the latest when it comes to that notice to the SSP. What were the reasons why he was trying to link the PFI to the RSS? On one side, this is the story, and on the other side, the investigation into this SIMI cell that has been busted by the Patna police. What's the latest update on that?
Ayushman, the document which was recovered at Jalaluddin's house, that was being used to radicalize, brainwash, and mobilize people. This is what the SSP wanted to convey, but he compared it to the RSS Saka, and now it has taken a political row, and various BJP leaders of the states are criticizing him and asking his resignation. MLA Haribhushan Thakur has even said that he has labeled the SSP as mentally insolvent for comparing PFI with RSS. Only the RJD is in support with the SSP, and RJD has tweeted and said that Patna Senior Superintendent of Police has rightly said about the modus operandi of the Sun that these people spread their propaganda and hatred in the name of physical training. So the BJP of the state, although there is a coalition government with JDU, but the BJP, they are firm and they are asking for the resignation. Even the Lok Sabha MP of Patna, Ravi Shankar Prasad, has tweeted and given a bite saying that proper action has to be taken against the SSP, as he has wrongly compared RSS with PFI. So there is a political uproar right now. Meanwhile, the ADG headquarters, Jiten Singh Gangwar, has taken up the issue, and he has show cause notice has been served to the SSP, and he has been asked as to why the statement was such type of statement was given by the SSP. And the report has to be submitted within 48 hours. So this is the latest update, Ayushman.
Right. Thank you, Saurabh, for joining us on the broadcast. And we've got that reaction coming in from BJP MP Ravi Shankar Prasad, who has demanded strict action against the Patna SSP. Listen in to what Ravi Shankar Prasad had to say.
RSS is a known nationalistic organization. So many RSS workers have sacrificed their life in the fight against terrorism. And for the SSP of Patna to compare RSS activity with that of PFI, a known terrorist organization, ought to break India, is plainly unacceptable. And I condemn it outright. We are assured to note the senior police officers have issued him a notice, and we trust that appropriate action shall be taken.
So this is not the only issue where there is a political war of words. Now, just ahead of the Parliament's monsoon session, each MP will now have to mind their language. This after a list of words have been deemed unparliamentary. Now, some of the words that are considered unparliamentary are Snoopgate, lie, drama, crocodile, tears, anarchist, COVID spreader, corrupt and ashamed, among others. Now, multiple opposition leaders have come out to criticize the list, calling it a bid to muzzle criticism against the government. Now, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla has clarified that words not conducive to healthy debates have been expunged and not removed. He also said that the tradition of listing out unparliamentary words has been on since 1959. He even said that the list was not a ban and the Speaker will assess the context of the words before expunging them, but the political war of words is far from over.
कुछ असंसदीय शब्दों को जो देश के लोकतंत्र के लिए, चर्चा और संवाद के लिए, लोकतंत्र की गरिमा के अनुकूल नहीं थे, उन शब्दों को विलोपित किया है। जिनको संसदीय परंपराओं की जानकारी नहीं है, उनको ये जानकारी होनी चाहिए किसी शब्द को बैन नहीं किया है। उस समय के संदर्भ में जब जब भी आवश्यक हुआ तो विलोपित किया है। देश में भ्रम की स्थिति नहीं होना चाहिए, किसी शब्दों को बैन नहीं किया है और किसी सरकार भी बैन नहीं करती है। मैं डिबेट और चर्चा में सुन रहा हूं कि इस सरकार ने बैन कर दिया, उस सरकार ने बैन कर दिया। चाहे राज्यों की सरकार हो, चाहे केंद्र की सरकार हो, सभी राज्य की विधानसभा और लोकसभा और राज्यसभा एक स्वतंत्र स्वतः निकाय है जिन पर सरकारों का कोई नियंत्रण नहीं होता है।
The new list has come out. How do you look at it?
I don't know whether I should be amused about it or actually be thinking about how democracy is taking a new turn under this government. There used to be times when we've read about it because you were not born in the British era, that when the freedom fighters were sending letters back home, they were censored. Then we have also seen during the days of emergency when newspapers were printing, you had some words which were not allowed. Now we have a model where you cannot even use words like corrupt, incompetent, and drama, hypocrisy, they've all become unparliamentary. Probably we'll, in the henceforth, every opposition leader would have to give their speeches to wet the speeches by the government of the day and allow them to use some of the words. This is absolutely ridiculous, and this has to be withdrawn immediately. And it goes against the spirit of democracy and for people.
सर, अनपार्लियामेंट्री लैंग्वेज को लेकर एक नया विवाद खड़ा हुआ है जिसमें कुछ शब्दों को सूची में ऐड किया गया है। कांग्रेस का ये कहना है कि ये एक प्रयास है सेंटर और भाजपा के द्वारा उनकी आवाज को दबाने का। क्या कहेंगे सर इस पर?
जो शब्द असंसदीय हो जाएगा, अनपार्लियामेंट्री शब्दावली में आ जाएगा, तो ऐसा तो है नहीं कि हम उनको कहेंगे वो हमको नहीं कह पाएंगे। अगर कुछ ऐसे शब्द हैं जो हमारे संसद को बोला जाता है ऑगस्ट हाउस, हम लोग अक्सर बोलते हैं कि टुडे इन दिस ऑगस्ट हाउस वांट टू से आई वांट टू रेज दिस क्वेश्चन। तो भाई ऑगस्ट हाउस मतलब पवित्र जगह, अगर अनपार्लियामेंट्री शब्दावली बढ़ाई जा रही है तो सबके लिए बढ़ाई जा रही है। कांग्रेस क्यों परेशान है, या कोई विपक्षी क्यों परेशान है, या ओवैसी जी क्यों परेशान है? क्या वो संसद में गाली ही देना चाहते हैं?
अब आप लोग उन शब्दों का इस्तेमाल करेंगे या फिर मांग करेंगे कि उन शब्दों को जारी रखने दिया जाए?
अरे ये शब्द अनपार्लियामेंट्री नहीं थे, जो नहीं थे हम करेंगे, करने के बाद उनका रिएक्शन क्या होगा हम देखेंगे। ये सब शब्द उन्होंने अगर नहीं इस्तेमाल किया डिबेट में तो हम कहते थे कि भाई ठीक है, ये इन्होंने नया कुछ लाया है। पहले तो ये सब करप्शन का और जुमलों का ये सारी शब्द उन्होंने पहले ही इस्तेमाल किया है। जब उन्होंने जो इस्तेमाल किया है तो हमको करने में क्या दिक्कत है? उनको लग रहा होगा कि ये शब्द बार बार पार्लियामेंट में इस्तेमाल होने से उनके इमेज को धक्का लगेगा, ये ऐसा सोच रहे होंगे, मैं समझता हूँ।
The war of words is only likely to escalate ahead of the monsoon session. That's all we have to pack in on the show. Good night and take care.